Back at you with another video from 80s Nut. Back at you with another video from 80s Nut. What I have for you today is the old school punch amp. It doesn't matter what model it is. They all have the same textured paint. It's a satin textured paint. And one of the biggest issues is if you bump into it with almost anything, you'll get a chip on the paint, and that's because the surface that was used was actually very smooth. So the paint did not adhere well to the aluminum, the cast aluminum. Anyway, what I'm going to do here is show you how I remedied the repair, how I remedied the issues with the damage that was done. Things like chips like right there, right? Corner right there. So, and obviously this thing is nasty filthy, and what I'm going to do now is give it a good quick cleaning and give it a quick cleaning so that way the surface will be ready for the paint. It's taken me a long time to come up with the exact paint match, so that way it's not visible that it's ever been repaired. Right? It's one thing to just put on some black paint that doesn't really match and you can see the repair as clear as day. And it's another thing to actually be able to repair it and visually it looks exactly the same as if it was never damaged in the first place. And that's what we're gonna do here. I'm not gonna sit here and clean the entire thing. I'll clean a section off and then show you guys. Okay, so I wiped it down with just Windex, and then now I'm just using the IPA, and this is a 90% IPA, to make sure that there is no contaminants. Where we're going to be touching it up. Okay. And you could see, I mean, it's dirty. And you don't want to paint over that. Alright. And I've been using the same mixing pen now, or give it a couple of squeezes. It's literally falling apart. This thing's been around now for, I don't know, maybe 15 years, and it's still going good. So what I do is I'll come in here. I don't know if you guys can see that well. That corner there. I'll come in here and I'll dab. Okay, and then give it a few seconds, and then I'll actually dab over it again. And let's hit this section here. And I'm going to repeat that. The reason I actually end up kind of dabbing my thumb over it, I don't want the finish to stay with that same semi-glossy finish that I'll get. And what I actually have in my paint marker is a flat primer and a semi gloss mixed together. And I see that there's another one here. You don't want to go back and forth, up and down with your marker, because you don't want to show the strokes. And you're going to repeat that a number of times. One, to be able to match the texture thickness that's on there already, right? Because obviously there is missing material where the chip is, and you're going to keep repeating that a number of times. It typically, depending on the chip, it would take me about 7 to 8 times of doing that process, repeating the process, in order for it to be completely gone and not noticeable at all. Let me show you guys a close-up. If you're wondering about this paint marker, it's a refillable paint marker that I got from San Jose at a there's an auto body supplier for automotive paint supplier, and they had this. I bought I think like 3 or 4 of them. Should have bought more, because man, it works extremely well. Anyway, and let's do another one just for the heck of it. And the same thing, but you know what? Let's do one right in the center there. Alright. I don't actually have to clean the grooves, but why not? Alright, let's hit it up. So that was the Windex, and now wipe it down with the IPA. Alright. So you can see the chip there. It's pretty visible. Okay, let's go ahead and attack that. Alright, give it a couple pumps. Alright. We're doing, maybe I should zoom in. Okay. Now we're going to hit that. and then there's a dot right there. We're going to get rid of that one too. Honestly, the paint combination took me a while. I probably went through, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 different variations before I got the exact match. Okay. I don't know if you guys can notice it very well there, but it's pretty much 90% gone there, and I would keep going until the entire thing is completely gone, and repeating the same process over and over again. The benefit of this is not, one, you could take the entire thing apart and take the PCB out and paint the entire thing, or just tape it all off real nice and paint the whole thing, or in this case, touch it up. The final touches would be giving it a nice coating. Let me grab this. So obviously if the entire thing was completely clean, we would wipe it down like so. We just kind of gotta imagine it being completely finished and cleaned. What I'll do is I will actually clean the entire thing, and I will add this to the end of the video so you guys can see what it looks like with no chips in the entire thing, and the entire thing completely, I guess, manicured. But that's all there is to it. ease. Alrighty. It'll take a lot longer than I thought. Let's see who sticks around till the end. Etched this surface to begin with, you wouldn't have the very easily chipped paint that all of these, all these amplifiers, this series has with the chipping. I mean, you look at it the wrong way, and you're gonna get a chip on this amp. It's also why these amps are actually very easy to polish, because of the surface underneath the paint is very smooth. So you're not going to spend a lot of time detexturing the surface to polish it out. I've polished my fair share of these amps and other series of Fosgate amps. And I think these were the simplest. Back in the day I used to use just a gel paint remover, and paint just comes off like butter. Towel's getting filthy. I mean, you got what, at least 25 years of it just sitting around. After we pulled this one from my brother's 68 Camaro. Heck, he might have even put in a 69 later. And then it just sat after he thought he had ruined it with a trunk leak that got rainwater in the trunk. So I've already recapped this one and ended up changing one of the 5K potentiometers that is on there. And this is perfectly working perfectly. Alright, I'm going to hit pause and finish cleaning it, and then start on the touch-up. Alright, it's done. Took some time, but it was better than sanding the entire thing, right? And primering and then painting. So, and it saves, I'd say, 95% of the original paint. So this is the way I typically do it, and when it's done, it looks really good. I'm still going to have to obviously do that bad boy, which is all chipped up and beat to crap. But again, I will not paint this piece. I will touch it up the same way I did on the amp. Until next time, 80s Nut out. Thanks for watching. 80s Nut out.